And let's get started. So find your place on your mat, and today we're going to start by laying back. So just lay on your back with your feet on the floor and knees bent. Arms can rest alongside your body. And let your back soften. You can close your eyes here. You can bring your hands to your belly, or maybe one to the belly, one to the heart. Take the feet out a little wider and let the knees just collapse towards each other. And notice how that feels for your low back. Feel free to have support. If you have anything, you can always put cushioning underneath your hips. If having your knees together is uncomfortable, then bring the feet in and have the knees about hip distance, and same thing with the feet. Just find a place that feels right. And relax through the shoulders, through your back. Take a deep breath in. And slowly let it out the mouth. And as you exhale, feel tension melt away, releasing and letting go. So let's do 2 more of those. Inhale through the nose. And slowly exhale out the mouth. Taking your time with each breath. You don't have to breathe at the same rate that I do. Inhale through the nose. And out the mouth. Then return to your natural breath once again. Notice if anything changed as you took those deep breaths. Notice if your natural breath is maybe softer. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, a little less tense here. Notice the places that you are holding on to stress and tension. Maybe it's your forehead or your shoulders, your neck. And start to let that go. Unclench your jaw. And let the breath naturally deepen, naturally slow down. So that with each breath, you're inhaling nice and slow and soft, and exhaling nice and slow and soft. Good. So keep that breath going. Inhale nice and soft, and exhale nice and soft. Releasing and letting go with each breath, finding your rhythm. Feel your belly expand with each inhale and contract with each exhale. As you inhale, expand, soften. As you exhale, hug in and up. Continue breathing nice and steady. Inhale, expand, soften. Exhale, hug in, giving yourself a little bit of a lift here. So just find that breath, see what works today. And as you practice, maintain that breath, maintain that awareness. So each inhale, you expand, and with each exhale, you contract. Just notice the movements, notice your body here. Inhale and exhale. Good. Continue with that breath as you practice, and always bring awareness to it. Always coming back to it. Now, bring your knees in towards your chest and gently rock side to side. Just creating a little movement here for your low back, your legs, maybe some circles with your legs. Just going nice and steady. A nice gentle morning stretch. And then the other way with the circles. Hug your right leg in and place your left foot on the floor. You can keep the left leg bent, or if you like, feel free to extend the leg out in front of you. Begin to circle your right leg all the way around. So you want to circle from that hip joint. Notice how the right hip feels as you do that. Try to keep the left side as still as possible so the movements there are limited and you're really focusing on the right side. Obviously the left side is going to move a little bit, but try to minimize that. And then the other way with the circles. Just notice how it feels. Now keep your right hand on your right leg. You can take your left hand to your left leg and begin to take the right leg out and in a few times. So you're just moving it from side to side, out to the right, and then back into center. Notice how the hip feels as you do that. Notice how far you can go naturally. You don't want to force the movements. You want to make sure that the movements stay healthy. Then bring that foot down to the floor and take your left knee in. Same thing, if you like to extend the right leg out in front of you, go ahead and do that, or you can simply keep the foot on the floor if that's a little more accessible to you today. Begin to circle your left leg. Circle from the hip joint. Notice the movements on this side. Notice what's going on here. How does it feel on this side? Is there a difference between the right and left? Sometimes there are differences that we're not generally aware of because we don't really pay attention to how we move in life. And then the other way with the circles. Take your right hand down towards the right hip or right leg. Left hand stays on your left knee and start to bring your knee out and in a few times. So same thing you did before on the other side. Notice how far you can go on this side, if it's the same, if it's slightly different. Now bring both legs in. Take your hands to your knees, one on each knee. Feet stay together so you have a little more control. And start to circle your knees in opposite directions of each other. So you're circling out, joining them, and then out again. So nice circles here in opposite directions. Remember to keep your feet together to move steady. Good. And then the other way with the circles. And same thing, notice how that feels. Bring it back to center, and you have a couple of options. You can rock side to side until you roll to your side and come to sit. Or you can take your hands to the back of your knees and rock yourself forward and back a few times along the length of your spine. And then make your way up to sit that way when you're ready. And as you come to your seat, feel free to have your legs crossed or extended to sit on support if you have a blanket or a cushion or anything you like to sit on. And begin to sway your torso, gently rocking side to side. Moving from your deep center, from your spine here as you feel those movements happening. Let your head follow along. Then start to make circles with the torso and go all the way around. And notice those movements, how they feel for your body. Notice what's going on in your back, the hips as you move. And then the other way with the circles. So same thing, be aware of the movements, how it feels. with your hands on your knees, begin to take some seated cat-cows. Bend forward at the hips and lift through the chest. Let your back arch as you inhale. And as you exhale, press back and round through the spine, hugging in. As you inhale, bend forward, lift and open through the front, let the back arch. And as you exhale, hug in and press back, rounding through the spine. Inhale, forward, lift and open through the front, let the back arch. And as you exhale, hug in and press back. One more, just like that. Bend forward, lift and open through the front. And exhale, press it back. Inhale, let the arms reach towards the ceiling. Circle the wrist around. And the other way. Maybe a little movement side to side. Just waving through the spine. Twist to the right side, right hand on the floor behind you, left hand on your legs, sit tall and deepen the twist without forcing, especially not forcing through your low back. Continue to sit nice and tall, creating space. With your next inhale, reach the arms up. Come through center, facing forward, and as you exhale, twist to the left side. Lengthen through the spine as you inhale, and deepen the twist. Draw the left shoulder back. Continue to create space as you twist, once again without forcing your low back. So let yourself be here with the breath. With your next inhale, let the arms reach. And exhale, bring the arms down. Feet out in front of you. Rock the legs side to side a few times. Stretching it out. Then swing the legs around, come to table. As you take your table position, hands shoulder distance or maybe a little wider, knees hip distance or wider. Begin to rock your hips side to side a few times. Pay attention to those movements. And then start to make circles with the hips. Go all the way around. And notice how that feels. And then the other way. Tuck your toes and send the hips towards the heels. Stretch it out. And then bring it forward. Maybe going a little bit further forward by bending your elbows and sliding through a bit. Keep the elbows bent so that your joints are happier. And then send the hips back. Stretch it out. Bend your elbows slightly as you come forward. Keep them bent. I know that's a lot more work than keeping them straight, but you're keeping your joints healthier. Send the hips back. Bring it forward, let the elbows stay bent. And then send it back. As you send the hips back, this time stay there. Maybe a little rocking side to side. Rolling from the pinky toes to the big toes. Press down into the finger pads, into the knuckles. Slight bend in the elbows and press the floor away as you lift into your down dog. Sitting bones back, knees are bent, heels are lifting. Wave the spine long, let your ears line up with your arms. And pedal out your feet. Stretch out through one leg and then the other leg. Notice those movements, how they feel right now. Now bend through both knees and straighten through both legs. Keep the hips back as you do that, so both knees bent, both legs straighten. Maybe going a little lower, bend both knees and straighten both legs. Maybe going a little lower each time, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Bring your feet together and walk yourself all the way to the front of your mat. Fold over your bent legs. Take hold of opposite elbows, let your head hang between your arms. Maybe moving your head gently side to side. Maybe a little swaying of your entire torso here. Take your hands back down to the floor. Inhale, half forward fold, fingertips to your shins, spine lengthens. As you exhale, bow and soften, bend your knees. Press into the earth, inhale. Exhale, slowly rise. Come all the way up. Let the arms float towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers above your head and take the palms up. Turn to the right side, a little twist. Come back to center. Turn to the left side. Come back to center. Bend to the right side. Center. Left. Center. Take your arms behind you, interlace the fingers, and open up through the shoulders as you inhale. Bend your knees, fold forward, let the arms continue to reach up behind you. Hands are still interlaced. Widen through the collarbones. And then exhale, release the hands to the floor. Inhale, fingertips to your shins, lengthen the spine. Take that half forward fold. Navel is in and up to support your low back. So you're not sinking into that. You're not rounding here. You're keeping the spine nice and long. As you exhale, bow and soften. Press down into the earth and step back with your left leg. Bring the left knee to the ground. Lengthen the spine. Feel free to have your hands on support. If you have blocks or anything, you can always use them, or whatever you happen to have around your house. Walk the right foot out towards the edge of the mat a little bit more. Left hand stays down. Reach towards the right, extending into that right arm, and let the right knee just drop out towards the right side. So you're on the outer edge of that right foot, but you're continuing to actively lift your inner ankle. You're not letting the ankle collapse. You're lifting up through the ankle. And that right knee just drops out naturally. Now, if you like, you can reach the right arm past your ear and spin a little bit more here. Bring the right hand down to the inside of the right foot, so the right foot stays where it is. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee off the ground. Maybe slide that back foot more, a little further back, and rock forward and back a few times. Stretch it through. Now this may be a little bit more challenging. Take your left hand in slightly, maybe an inch or so, give yourself space, and step the left foot to the outside of your left hand. Turn the toes out slightly and lower your hips as you come down to Malasana or squat. Hands together at center. Maybe you need to be up higher, that's fine. Just be where you need to be. Take a moment here. Notice how it feels. Bring your right hand down to the floor. Reach up with the left arm and extend into the fingertips. Then take the left hand down. Arm is inside the left leg. Take the right arm up. Extend into the right fingertips. Keep the breath going. Bring it back down. Press into the feet. Slowly roll yourself up and heel toe your feet in about sitting bones distance. Inhale, half forward fold, fingertips to your shins. Exhale, bow, soften. Press down into the earth. Inhale. As you exhale, start to rise. When you come up, bring the right leg up with you. Arms can be out for balance. You can have your hand on a wall. You can have your hands on your hips. Start to circle the right leg all the way around. Notice how it feels to do this. How much work is it for your hip flexors? To hold your leg up, to move. And then the other way with the circles. Make sure that you're not leaning back, that your core is engaged and you're giving yourself that lift through the front. Step it down, shake it out. Fold forward, take a moment. Now press down into your right foot. Slowly start to rise, let the left leg come up. Arms out once again for balance. Feel free to have support, taking your hand to a wall or to bring your hands to your hips. Begin to circle your left leg. Nice, steady, controlled circles. So you're moving only from that left hip joint here. Good. And then the other way. If you feel unstable, it's all right. Don't worry about it. If you come out, you can always get back into it. And then step it down, shake it out, and fold. Inhale, fingertips to your shins. Take that half forward fold. As you exhale, soften, bow, and step back with your right leg, right knee to the ground. Left hand stays down right hand stays down as you walk the left foot towards the edge of the mat. Turn to your left side, reach the left arm up and let that left knee drop out. So once again, you're at the outer edge of the foot here. You're not collapsing the ankle. The ankle is lifting actively. And maybe the left arm extends forward past your ear. Don't sink into the hips either, even if you have the flexibility in the hips. You don't want to be all the way down here. That's a lot for the hips. So stay higher. You don't want to sink into your hip flexors, into the hip joints. Bring your left hand to the inside of the left foot. Tuck your right toes. Lift the right knee. Maybe slide that foot back a little bit. Give yourself space. And you can rock forward and back a few times. See how it feels on this side. Walk your right hand in, maybe about an inch or so, and then take your right foot to the outside of that right hand. So once again, it's a big step forward. Turn the toes out and come back down to Malasana, your version of it. Feel free to have support underneath your hips here to be up higher. Whatever you need. Now press down into your feet. Lift the hips about halfway. Make sure you're not lifting higher than your knees here if you're not lifted already. If you are, you can go a little higher. And then lower your hips back down. Press down into your feet. Lift the hips. Bow knee height. And lower. Press down into your feet. Lift the hips knee height. And lower. Couple more. Lift. And lower. And one more time. Lift. And lower. Good job. Hands down. Slowly roll yourself up and heel toe your feet in. So they're once again about hip distance, which is walking distance. Inhale, fingertips to your shins. Exhale, bow and soften. Plant your hands on the floor and step back, downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Maybe pedal it out. Then knees, elbows. Push forward, high plank. Lengthen through the spine. You can take your knees to the ground if you like and point the toes back. Or you can always keep your knees lifted. So if your knees are down, move the hips side to side. If your knees are lifted, move the feet side to side. Come back to center, bring your knees down, slide the chest forward, and slowly come all the way down to the floor. Make sure that your hips are coming down first, then your belly, then your chest. Take a moment, settle in, extend the legs back. Reach your arms behind you and interlace the fingers. Shoulders back. Extend the arms without locking. Press into the earth and slowly lift. Whatever can lift off the floor, your head, your chest, your legs. Keep the breath going, crown of the head is forward. Separate the hands, continue to reach the arms back. And then release. Bend your knees and move the legs side to side. Make your way back up into table. And as you come to table, you can rock the hips, you can take some cat-cows, you can take a child's pose, and that's always open to you. Now take your right foot out to the side, so your leg is straight out from your hip. Walk your hands over towards the right side of it, and then slide the right foot out. So you're finding a deeper stretch there. You might feel that in your inner thigh, your hips. Come back to your table. And then when you're ready, take your left leg out to the side. Walk your hands over towards the left. And the foot slides over. Not overdoing it, just to find the beginnings of a stretch here. And come back to center. With your knees about hip distance, come up. So you're kneeling here, toes are pointing back. Take your right leg out to the side. Right hand can rest on your right leg, left arm reaches up. Bend towards your right side, extending all the way through, sliding your right hand down. Notice as you bend, if your torso is kind of leaning forward and you're doing this, where you're reaching across, try to avoid that. Try to take the torso and spin the ribs so the ribs are turning up the direction of the ceiling and your arm is reaching over your ear, past your ear, not across your face. Now come back. If you have a block, you can always have your left hand on the block here. Or if you have a chair, you can be up higher. If you have a book, anything you have. Or your hand comes down directly to the floor. Turn the right toes to face the front now, so your front, where your body's facing. And reach the left arm all the way over, extending into your right arm all the way over into the fingertips. So your left hand is on the floor or on support, and your right arm extends through. Once again here, don't let yourself collapse in and point your torso towards the floor, but rather open so you're facing the torso straight in front of you, and the seam of your shirt is up towards the ceiling. Come back. And switch sides here now. So your left leg extends out. Your left hand can rest on your left leg. Your right arm reaches up. Bend towards your left side. Extend all the way through. Spin the ribs, once again, not leaning forward, but opening up and reaching over. Come back and take your right hand down once again to support to the floor. Turn the left toes forward and reach the left arm over. Past your ear, extend into the fingertips. Continue to spin the ribs open as you reach, creating space. Keep that breath going. Come back to center, back to table. And as you take table once again, little rocking of the hips, some cat-cows, or a resting pose, whether it's child's pose or just sitting back. Child's pose doesn't necessarily have to be your thing. When you're ready, come back up to table and then to down dog. You can pedal out your feet. Bend your knees and elbows. Push forward, high plank. Slide the feet back, give yourself space, and then bring your knees to the ground. Point the toes back, crown of the head is forward. Bend your elbows halfway, and then push back up. Bend halfway, push back up. Bend halfway, push back up. Couple more, bend halfway, push back up. Bend halfway, push back up. Send the hips back, stretch it out. And come back up to table. Swing the legs around and come to sit. Sit tall, extend the feet forward. Take a twist to the right side. Sit nice and tall here. Then take a twist to the left side. Come back to center. Bring the bottom of your feet together, but don't bring the feet all the way in. Keep the feet as far from you as possible, but joint. Let the knees open out to the sides. And walk yourself forward. No need to go very far here. There's no need to get your head all the way down. You can maybe just the legs in this position and sitting upright is enough today. Maybe a teeny tiny fold or a deeper one. Just see where you are. Notice if you're feeling a pull on the outside of your thighs here. You don't want to feel too much there. It's your IT band and it doesn't stretch very far. It's like a leather strip, so it doesn't have much give. So don't force it. Walk yourself back up. Bring your knees in. Feet on the floor. Keep the left leg up towards the ceiling and drop the right knee in. You can have your hands on the floor behind you for support. And then switch sides, dropping your left leg in. And bring it back. Extend the legs forward, but notice how that affects your back. If your back is rounding, then bend your knees. Maybe support underneath your legs. Also, if you want to take a gentler forward fold, knees bent, it's always a better option. So if you're working a little harder this morning, and as you fold forward, your legs are straight, you're continuing to lift up through the front. So the ribs are lifting, the sternum is lifting, and the shoulders are drawing back as you walk your hands forward. Maybe you reach your feet, maybe you don't, it doesn't matter. Continue to press into the heels, to the sitting bones, and to actively lift through the front of your spine. Back of the neck is long and extended. You're not looking up, you're not looking down. You want to keep that extension. If you like a gentler forward fold, bend your knees and fold forward, letting your head release down. You can cross your arms over your legs. You can soften the feet a little more. So it's up to you if you want to take that gentler forward fold or if you like to work a little bit still. And then slowly come back up. Bring your feet to the floor and roll to your back. Knees bent, just like when you started, with your knees bent, feet about hip distance, knees about hip distance. Let your back soften, coming into constructive rest. Relax through your low back, through your arms. Maybe a little movement side to side with your legs if that feels good. Bring your right knee in. You can keep your left foot on the floor with your knee bent, or you can extend the left leg out. Take hold of the back of your right leg and extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Circle your ankle. And the other way. Then point and flex the foot a few times. See what's going on in the foot, the ankle. You can walk your hands up towards your ankle a little bit more without forcing. Hug it in, bring your knee in towards you, and then place the foot on the floor. Take your left leg in. Once again, here, feel free to extend the right leg or to keep the foot on the floor with your knee bent. Take hold of the back of your left leg, extend the leg up, circle the ankle, and the other way. Maybe pointing and flexing the foot a few times. Then walk your hands up a little bit further towards your ankle. Bring your knee in, hug it in. Then bring both legs in. Keep the feet together, hands on your knees, and like you did once again in the beginning, begin to circle your knees out and in a few times. And notice if there's anything different this time around from the first time that you did it. So just be aware if there is more freedom or not. Just always pay attention to what's going on. Then the other way with the circles. Hug your right leg in, extend the left leg, and take a twist. Bring the right leg across to the left side. Extend through the right arm and turn to look to the right side. Relax your right shoulder, your right arm. Soften here. Notice if you're holding yourself up unnecessarily. And let yourself soften as much as you can, relaxing as much as you can into it. Just simply letting yourself be here. Notice the breath, its flow, its rhythm. Bring your knee back in. Bring both legs in. Give yourself a moment. Continue to hug your left as you extend the right. Take your left leg across to the right side. Reach the left arm out. Soften through the left arm, through the left shoulder. Turning to look to the left. And relax there. Let yourself soften as much as possible, releasing as much as possible. Come back to center and bring both legs in. You can rock side to side. You can circle your legs a few times one way, a few times the other way. If you like, you can take happy baby, grab onto the outer edges of your feet and rock there side to side. Maybe extend one leg out at a time, just to stretch out a little bit more. Then hug the legs in, and then reach the arms back, extend the legs forward, stretching out into the fingertips, into your feet. Nice deep breath in, and let it go. As you settle into your Shavasana, your final pose, feel free to lay back, to be on your side to sit up, whatever works, whatever feels right. As you exhale, let yourself sink deep, releasing and letting go of tension, softening through your shoulders, arms. Let your body grow a little heavier. Soften your forehead, your eyes, jaw. Relax through the hips, through the legs. Let yourself simply be in this moment. Allow the breath to flow naturally in and out of your body. As you let that breath flow, let everything go. Finding stillness in your mind and in your body for the next few minutes. Just existing here in this moment. Begin to deepen your breath. To bring awareness to your body once again. You can start to move fingers and toes, hands, feet, to rock your head side to side, moving it from ear to ear. Move arms and legs. If it feels good to stretch, go ahead and reach your arms, extending through the fingers, through the toes. Nice deep breath in. Let it go. Hug your legs in and gently rock side to side until you roll to your side. And rest there for a few breaths. Notice the results of your practice today. The least amount of effort possible, make your way to sit. Join your hands together at center. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful week. Stay healthy, and I do have a lot more videos on my YouTube channel, so you can go there and subscribe, which is Maria Denota Yoga, so you can go there and subscribe. This will be posted on my feed as well, so you can always come back and watch it. Thank you so much, and hope to see you next time. Namaste.